Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Last Son. This is Journey Through the Cornellverse. Today, we are taking a look at Deep Impact Wrestling. Deep Impact Wrestling are Australia's alternative wrestling group. They were set up by the veteran Rebel, the comedian, who had become infuriated by the rise of Raw and all it represented. The concept behind DIW is to be everything that Raw is not. Down and dirty wrestling aimed squarely at young males who want a fix of violent, hardcore action. Beers flow, blood is spilled, and one giant middle finger is extended in the direction of sports entertainment. The company is very much a small-time operation and has been on the verge of bankruptcy on several occasions. But through luck, a dedicated crew of workers, and an awful lot of cost cutting, they've managed to survive longer than anyone expected. You are a tiny company, $2,000 in the bank, and you are based in New South Wales. We take a look at your size. You do have a 24 popularity in New South Wales, a 9 in Queensland and Victoria, a 4 in South Australia, and 0s across the rest of Australia and New Zealand. You're not going to really have a presence anywhere else in the world because you're that tiny company. India, Oceania, Europe, nowhere else do you have any kind of popularity. To take the next step and move into a small size company, you need to achieve a 35 popularity in your home region of New South Wales. So you're about 11 popularity points away, but it's something that you can achieve potentially the first year to two to get to that small and start building the company up, hopefully not losing a ton of money and being able to turn a profit. Being a tiny company, you have no coverage, you have no broadcaster, you are a monthly event promotion. So you start off with DIW to the extreme. Then you have hardcore heatwave, blood and guts, havoc, double may care, massacre. The AI instructions for this one is the main event should be a 4v4 bout. Then we have Carnage in Canberra, Hardcore Hallelujah, Extreme Life, Damage Control, Chaos Engine, War Machine. You also have a off-air TV show called Up Yours. Take a look at your product. The style name is Cult Hardcore. Core and current product is Extreme Hardcore. This is just hardcore wrestling with an emphasis on shock and awe. It is mostly about brawling, although other styles can thrive if they're good enough. This product tends to attract a very rabid fan base. So no, face and heel is not enforced. Stables are used. Managers are used. These settings give the following consequences. You have 2 special effects, and that's rabid fans will really get into high quality wrestling, and they will violently turn against poor quality wrestling. Fans are going to expect events of 85% matches, 15% angles. TV shows to be 75% matches, 25% angles. Matches are rated on a match quality versus popularity ratio of between 40 and 60, 60 and 40, depending on what gets the best rating. So popular workers are going to be a pretty big part of those scores and the matches. It's either going to be 60 or 40% of that score. So getting popular workers is very much something that you would like to do with this product. This hardcore style does have a high level of general wear and tear on the bodies, and injuries are also pretty common. Your fans are open-minded, and they will accept any match type. Matches less than 15 minutes will not be able to achieve world-class scores. The lengthy matches will tend to lose the audience. Fans will also be put off by cheap endings, like countouts, DQs, or sports entertainment finishes. You have a few penalties to some certain matches and segments. Your ultra dangerous match setups, like glass and explosives, will be penalized. Angles that are based primarily on sex appeal will have their overall rating limited. All workers are expected to be using a gimmick, or there will be a small penalty. Fans expect a lot of ongoing storylines. Each show will need at least one match aimed as hardcore, one match aimed as wild brawl, and one match aimed as car crash or mayhem. Your attendance levels are only mildly affected by the state of the wrestling industry. The economy does not have a significant impact on merchandise sales, but you will be very limited in the broadcast time slots you can get. Your fan base will be very opinionated, and they will turn on workers they don't feel belong. As I've said in other hardcore products, I think that has to do with the hardcore skill. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think it is the hardcore skill that causes a fan base to turn on them? While you're there, go ahead and leave the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. But this is a pretty basic hardcore product that shouldn't be too hard to book. Just get some popular workers. Make sure you hit the match aims you need. You should be able to put on some pretty decent matches to help build that popularity. If we take a look at your booking team, you have one member other than your character, and that's Angus McMiller. And you only have a few other options here to potentially add to that booking team and potentially boost that CE to purchase the creative finishes and those ideas to enhance your matches. Your inner circle only has one individual, and that's Mayhem Mahoney as a locker room leader. So that means you have quite a few spaces that you can add workers into these roles to positively affect the morale. It can sometimes lead to them becoming more loyal to you. However, choose carefully, because removing someone from a position will usually result in a morale penalty. And it could also cause problems backstage. They can hate you. They can cause all kinds of trouble for you. So just choose carefully. You do have 26 workers on your roster. And if we search for those individuals who have a star quality of 70 or above, you have one. That's Tavita Takalula. It's a 23-year-old Tongan wrestler. Really skilled in the ring. Has a really good, brawling and hardcore stat. Even their performance is not that bad as well. They have a really good menace. So you could put them in menace angles, intimidation angles. So this would be something as you get bigger, you're going to want to try to bring in some more popular guys, some more star-powered guys. So that way, as you get the bigger company sizes and you start getting into battles, you have some people that will help you place well in those battles. If we take a look at the major stars and stars of your company, these guys are going to be the main eventers, the upper mid-carders of your roster, the top half of those cards that you build. You have Blitz Simpson, Boo Smithson, Mace Moeller, Mayhem Mahoney, Milton Hiddlespitz, and Shogo. So quite a few skilled individuals, mix of experience and talent, but there should be enough here to potentially build those storylines, tell good stories, have good matches, and build the popularity of your promotion. The only problem is the style is very hard on the workers. So these guys may not last as long as workers in other companies like a Lucha Libre company where it's very easy on the workers. So that's something to keep in mind. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have guys that retire early or get hurt and cannot work anymore. So just make sure you have people that you're willing to push to replace these injuries and replace their absence or even leaving the company. Your mid-card is a very important part of any company, but in a hardcore company, they're even more important because this is where a lot of your skill and major part of your card is going to come from. It's also going to have people that can take and move up the card if needed. So you have guys here like Angus McMiller, Australian Devil, Blood Brother, Bloodsport, Caesar Sionis, Con McReady, Creeper, DeMarcus Lee, East Coast Panther, Gaula Lacos, Lycan Nightshade, Rad Masteroff, Slugger, Cyrus, Tim Burr, Wes Dauberly, and Riot. So a lot of mix of experience, you have a lot of skills, but if you saw as we went down through there's also a lot of yellow and bodies that are worn down, have a lot of wear and tear. So that's something to keep in mind, that hopefully you don't have a ton of injuries at one time and you lose a lot of these workers for an extended period of time, or you have to use them while they're hurt and it causes the ratings of your match to tank. If we take a look at the unimportant perception, so these are going to be either young, unexperienced, young lion type guys, or older workers who have kind of fallen down the card. You're going to have guys like Bully XL, Jake Thornton, and Tabitha Takalula. That's the basic star in the making. He's kind of just only had 2 years of experience, so he's young. But like I said, these guys have some pretty decent skills, especially Tabitha here, who can move into that mid-card and eventually even maybe that major star type level. And this guy could basically lead the entire company and be that figurehead type guy, I would think. If we take a look at your champions, you have the Australian Championship, current prestige of 18, current champion Tim Burr, introduced in 2018 due to DIW's expanding roster. The Australian title is a mid-card title. It varies between being used to set up future stars and just simply giving the mid-card something to fight over. This reign has been going on for 15 days. No successful title defenses so far. You have the DIW Championship. Current champion is Shogo. Current prestige is 28. This is the pinnacle of DIW. The championship has slowly developed from being something mostly fought over by limited brawlers into a belt that is genuinely often featuring the best match of the night. This reign has been going on for 78 days, 2 successful title defenses so far. The Tag Team Championships, 20 current prestige. Current 2-time champions are Creeper and Wraith. For a small and relatively young company, DIW has always had a pretty decent tag team division. As a result, their tag team titles actually have a solid lineage behind them. This reign has been going on for 43 days, one successful title defense during that time. If we take a look at your stables, you do have two. You have the Dog Pound. It's a faction made up of relative newcomers to DIW, and it's promoted as being a group of young, hungry talent that wants to upset the existing order. It revolves primarily around Tevita Takula, as he is the most obvious future star. So you have Tevita Takula, Bully XL, and Jake Thornton. Then you have the Wild Hunt. This is built around new signing Lycan Nightshade. The Wild Hunt is an attempt to create an ultra-violent faction to fill the void left in the wake of Penn Enterprises no longer being around in DIW. So you have Lycan Nightshade as the leader. You have Bloodsport, Slugger, and Cyrus as members of the Wild Hunt. As we take a look at your storylines, you need to have one storyline rated hot or above. You're currently achieving this. You're also expected to advance one storyline per show. So your stories are the number one contender. Mace Mueller and Mayhem Mahoney are the two previous holders of the DIW championship and now must face each other for the right to earn a path to regaining their title. You have Burr's Big Challenge. Tim Burr recently defeated Con McCready to claim his first DIW Australian title. However, McCready is not one to take defeat lightly and is hunting down the champ in order to get his belt back. You have Shogo versus Blitz. Shogo recently became DIW champion and now faces his first challenger, Blitz Simpson, who spent the latter half of 2021 tearing through everyone in his path in order to earn a title shot. So teams, you have quite a few here. You have Ares Death Cult, Forever Evil, Panther and Devil, the Batmen, the Dogs of War, the Hired Guns. A lot of experience in some of these teams. Some are kind of just relatively new, but pretty good division to feud over the tag team belts. If we take a look at your creative, your franchise players are Shogo and Boo Smithson. The game right now does not think you have a next big thing. I think Tevita is your next big thing, but the game doesn't think that right now. Hot prospects, you have Creeper, Lycan Nightshade, Brad Masteroff, Rise, DeMarcus Lee. Talk the Talk, you have the Comedian, Big Jim Teasdale, Angus McMiller, Professor Adler, and Lillian O'Donoghue. Showstoppers, Shogo, Milton Hiddlespitz, Australian Devil, Angus McMiller, Mace Moeller. Ring Generals, Boo Smithson, Shogo, Blitz Simpson, Angus McMiller, Mace Moeller. You have quite a few individuals who have momentum on their side and are considered hot. And thankfully, the game does not think you have anybody struggling with a lack of momentum or who is considered not. You're not going to have a child company. You are not going to have a developmental. You do not have a training facility. You do only have 2,000 in the bank, so all of those things would be kind of hard to, keep up and pay for with only that little bit of money. Relationship-wise, you do have a hostile attitude towards APW and Raw, even though they kind of don't have any opinion of you at all. You have a very negative opinion of both and actually have declared war on Raw. So all in all, Deep Impact Wrestling might be a pretty fun save It's going to be potentially challenging, I think, because of the amount of money you have available. It's a very razor thin amount, razor thin budget. You're going to have to make sure that you watch the workers you use and make sure you don't bring in people that you're going to have to pay a lot of travel for. If you have individuals on your roster that you pay travel for, you may not want to use them. But I think if you can get this kind of steamrolling, I think you can have a really fun save. Some pretty good, workers. I think Tevita would be a fun worker to book. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Or do we have any Deep Impact Wrestling fans out there? Do you guys use them a lot? If you do, tell me what you did. How did you bring them back? How does this differ from what happened in 2020? Were they in better shape in 2020? What people should they sign and look for? So leave those in the comments to help not only me, if I want to play offline with them, but some other people who may be playing as Deep Impact Wrestling might get some sort of tip or trick from your comment. So leave those in the comments while you're there. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel. You guys have been really awesome. I appreciate everyone who's subscribed. And we're over the 100 mark. And we're trying to continue building the channel. So thank you. This has been Journey Through the Cornellverse. Today we looked at Deep Impact Wrestling. I'm Last Son. Keep playing. Stay awesome. I'll see you in our next video.